Come here, read the mail or something, can be good sort of conditions. Still not ready here, Dragon. Hey, Dragon, you still ready blowing smoke here, break. Clean up, honey, you there, Dragon, so, I was gonna say there, mate, you probably got it all. Hello, Mr. Whoa, Dragon, big old mouth, thanks, mate.
I think it's time to play the music. Play the music. Play the music. Play the music. Yeah, that music.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Your Old Tube Radio Network. Just jumping into the air chair here tonight. Got the new jacket. That's what they had out. I think, what is that? The other one. They said the other one is what? It's in for repair, maybe? Well, this might work. I don't know. It's a... Well, you're trying to get me into the 1970s here with the corduroy, and oh yeah, it's got the patches too. So we move up 10 years here at the Old Tube Radio Network. As you can hear, the skip is fading out. We still have some stations coming in from Australia. Hopefully, we'll get some of the northwest skip tonight. Get some check-ins that way. Of course, locally we should do okay. We will be listening for your radio check-ins, the shortwave listeners. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers who've sat in the air chair here of the Old Tube Radio Network, a voluntary association of people gathering together to talk about and discuss and promote the use and distribute information about old tube radios here on your Class D 11-meter citizen radio service. We've been doing this since, I think it's 1986. OBP knows. He should be out there on the video chat. We are live on channel 1127085 right now. Also, audio streaming at oldtuberadio.net, where there is a way to see some of the photos that we put up and leave a comment. And then there's a link to go to a YouTube video that has even more items of interest and the audio as well. So pick your favorite. If you're joining us on the replay, you can scroll to wherever you want to find whatever it is that you're looking for, because I'm sure we'll have some interesting radios tonight. With that said, we will do the directed net roll call. I will stop talking and we will listen for anybody who needs an early check-in here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
95, check it out.
All right, 195 up the hill. It is getting a little bit quieter. I hear you, no problem, and we will get you checked in. Over. All right, Jim, thanks for getting us started off, and that way I know I have page 4 in the mix. And for some reason, there are no dates on here, but I know it's the 21st of October. Anybody else for early check-in before we start the roll call?
Good evening there, Dennis. We're 153 the Legend. I'd like to take you early there, big brother.
Okay, we can do that, no problem. Hope you're having a great day and a good evening. So SWL 53, the Legend, is got the X in the square. Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome, sir. Have a good weekend. Take care. 73, back quiet.
Also from earlier on, we have SWL 68, Michael, and SWL 69, Kenny out of Tulsa, who are listening in but cannot stay late tonight, so both get a check-in. Also, let's see, I want to get SWL 00, and did I write down, who is 00? I think it's Stan. Who is, yeah, it's 71. So Stan is checked in as 00. Now this new jacket isn't as, a little more stiff than the other one. It's hard to move around, but that's okay. I want to say hello to, okay, we've got SWL 111, Robert, with always comes in early, and we have lots of skip. Give it 2 more weeks, 111, and I think we will have clear sailing at the beginning of the net, because we will get the hour time change back, so the sun will be going down a bit earlier, which might help us with our DX conditions. And Alex is checking in Nineland. Alex, you said you were in Fresno for 3 years. That is about 2.5 years too long. I've been here 3 years times about, I don't know, 15. It's been a long time. But I didn't start here, but here I am. But that's okay. SWL number 1, the cosmic check-in for Dr. J, one of the guys that put this old tube radio thing together ever so long ago, along with Mr. OBP, who is 9 pounds and good modulation. Kevin is, I believe, still listening out on the video side. If you are, hello, radio. SWL 51. I'll see if I can. I see Dave out there. I'll see if I can catch you live and direct. We've got a check-in for Mr. Lone Eagle, SWL 3, and Levon, Mr. Rainmaker, SWL 5. I see you over from his appearance at Old Radio Night, where I got to see the video. There was all sorts of stuff going on there tonight. It's sort of a, what do they say, a cavalcade of stars and things. So you have to keep constantly, tuning in and paying attention, or else you end up missing something interesting. SWL 7, Mr. Ed.
Hey, SWL 7, checking in.
And we've got you checked in, sounding good in the neighborhood, because you're in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, about a stone's throw away.
Is that Mr. Prune Picker over? I think I heard Dennis out there in the ditch banks. Mr. Prune Picker out there in Kerman. If you hear me, you are checked in 96 over. Back over to page 1, and I got to check my chart of charts looking for SWL 10. Chrissy is right there, right on the screen. Thank you for the Dolphins. Whenever I see the Dolphins jumping, I know there is an X in the square. We might have some of those winter or autumn conditions. It is getting cool here, cooling off a bit, so we'll see if we can't hear you guys if the channel opens up. Thanks, Chrissy. 11 and 12. Mr. Cornbread and Dapper Dan. Well, Cornbread and Dan, they found me. I should say they found me this 1970s jacket. And I am just kind of struggling with, what's that? And they say that there's a pocket protector going to that too. We'll put that in a second. Maybe I should leave it. Maybe I should leave it unbuttoned. Would that be easier to move around in a little bit? Yeah, I think so. Not as dapper, but at least I'll take a second place to SWL 12. Thanks, guys. SWL 13. Keep an ear out for Mr. Cobra. He will be in shortly, I bet. They gave me a new pen. It works very well. I just don't want it to go rolling off the table. Are we being heard in Sangertown? Hello, 14.
Hey, 080, shock away, post you back out.
Hello, 14. How about SWL 15? He is right there. Alpha 173. Where the sun is trying to come up tonight, or this morning, tomorrow morning, actually. Craig wants to know where the pumpkin is. I do too. They say they've still got it in display over in the green room. Can we have it? I think we've got one more week before Halloween. I even cleared a spot for it back there. All right, they said we will try and get the wacko pumpkin back next week, and maybe with the pumpkin shows up, we can coax Espresso Trucking Company to come back. That wouldn't that be great? Let's go to SWL 16. And Charlie is right there. Looking good. All right. Well, thanks for finding the. It's a different tie too. Everything's different. Thanks for finding the suit. You know, I could just dress like a normal person. Wouldn't that be nice? We don't have to have all this stuff. But anyway, it fits. You found a good one. Was this from the Goodwill bin? No doubt. 50 cents. It fits like a 50-cent jacket should. Let's go to Thank you, Charles. SWL 17. SWL 18, Mikey with a check-in from the Facebook page. They're telling me to put up the REA meter, which I will do, and make sure that we are at least 100% modulation, which I am, and check over this to make sure that's happening, which it is. That doesn't mean it sounds good. Just because the meters are wiggling and the lights are flashing, we've learned a long time ago that doesn't mean that the audio sounds good, but at least it makes me feel good, like there is some RF getting out. Over to Chet, who's on the cue card tonight, SWL 19. And oh, hold on. He has got something for me. Thank you. You rescued it. There's no there is a pocket. No, the lapels are so wide on this jacket, it covers up the pocket. Will it fit in there? Look at that. All right. So, what do you think? We've got the pocket protector on the jacket. All right, all is well. It's going to be a good night tonight. Thank you, Chet, for keeping me stylish. Let's go to and you are checked in. Let's go to SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Please check me in. 2954, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, good to hear you in the air chair. You are sounding good. Good audio. The conditions are getting a little bit better, but yes, we will talk to you later. We'll see what is up out at the west side. And 52 says, I need a slide rule. I had one a long time ago. I have no idea. What happened to my slide rule. I do have a little old-style calculator. An old Sharp something, T209. I've had it for probably 50 years. One of the first cheapies. That may have to do. Okay, SWL 21, Mr. JT, DD21, who is listening. I believe, let me go over. I believe the program has concluded. Let's see if we got some video. Let's see if we got audio. Yeah. Tonight.
$1 a baseball you could throw at him there, Bray.
All sorts of stuff were going on. They were on 21. No wonder I was listening for you guys. Oh. What? See what I mean? See what I mean about what goes on? You're showing up a sign about 1036. And there was a wheel going on and all sorts of things. I don't know where the spinning wheel. Oh, here it is. There it is right there. That's better than dialing for dollars. I'm looking at the guys. I'd say, how come we don't get a spinning wheel? Because they're afraid I would get injured. All right, well, I'll get in next week. I like that. I'll get my name on the wheel.
I'll get Jed's. I'll get Jed's.
You are checked in 20. You are having too much fun on Old Radio Night. 21 from the Wasama Swamps. Let me see who's in the balcony way up there. Chicago, Illinois, the home of early Howlett Crafters. Yellow Springs, Ohio. Elkhorn, Nebraska. Who else is Middletown, Ohio? Low to Fresno, San Francisco. Plymouth, Minnesota. Centerville, Virginia. Coming up to you, Inez, Kentucky. Mr. Van Man in the van doing his thing. I didn't hear you this week. I did hear you last week, but I wasn't listening that much this week. Get you checked in. Sylvania, Ohio. Right in the front. How did you do that? How did Chet get right in the front row? That's supposed to be reserved for the net control technical guy. Oh, okay. When you have the pocket protector, it trumps all. I got it. All right, thanks. And Copenhagen, of course. Thank you, Hans. All right, continue. I was looking. I did that. I was looking to see if Fairbanks, Alaska, was in because Tyler sometimes is out on the list there. I don't see him. I'll get Tyler checked in. I didn't hear him on the early side of everything. 23 Skidoo. We'll get 23 Skidoo checked in. He may join us in a little bit were he to get all the wires and satellite items working. Steve is working on the Simba. The Pierce Simpson back in the early 70s had a lot of good solid-state radios. The Pierce Simpson Simba, they had some great catalogs. I just remember looking at those as a very poor high school student and thinking, where am I going to get what are they? They were like $250, $300, $400. Where am I going to get that money to buy this stuff? So work on the Simba and get it on the air. How about SWL 24?
24, checking in.
All right, glad I could get to you quickly enough before you had to go, but have a great rest of the evening. See if we got any of the... I heard the Down Under station keying up on an Eagle, trying to see if we can get him to check that in. Okay, let's go to SWL 25. I get a proxy for 25. Here's the Donnie Reb Band is playing big time. I think they're opening for the Beatles or something. They're doing a lot of stuff this week. And there is, hey, Bill, 67. Let me get you checked in now before the internet goes away. Well, you got it to fire up. I don't know, you pedaled the bicycle a little bit faster, whatever, but it's good. I see you on the list. So were we to have some conditions from Canby, we'd hear you direct, no doubt. But we've got you. Let me put the 67 up in the box. You know you are there. Good to hear you. Glad you were able to jump in. Directed net roll call, page 2 for playing the home game. Looking for SWL 27. It helps to unkey the microphone. Up the road a piece on good old Highway 99. There is actually a few songs about that particular road for SWL 28. Here he is in, checking in, going to enjoy the program here with his ice-cold Yoo-hoo. There is a picture of me in a space, I know this sounds weird, in a space cadet outfit holding Yoo-hoo in what looks like the middle of the desert. Were I to find that, maybe I will I won't part with that, but oh my gosh. Yoo-hoo and black licorice. Make sure you have the Pepto-Bismol to go along with that. A diehard Old Tube Radio Network fan, and I hope we can live up to the refreshments. I hope the entertainment will live up to the refreshments tonight. Got to check in for Mr. Loner, SWL29, and likewise Dwayne, who is out there waiting with an ear and the trigger finger ready for, I don't know what microphone you have on the Browning or the Robin, but he is awaiting some conditions to come in. Let's go to SWL31, SWL32, shortwave listener 33, Bozo Control, and everybody here in the studios of the Old Tube Radio Network. Gotta make sure I put an X under my name. I always forget to do that. SWL 34, Jimmy and the gang. Maybe that was our Chicago station that was listening in earlier. Get Jimmy checked in. He's a busy guy working on the Old Tube CB Radio Network page on Facebook, along with many others. Now, I still haven't. Oh, wait, there it is. Someone who put it on the desk. Here it is, the train bus. We've been looking for that, and I haven't practiced, so this is going to be pretty awful. Here we go. That is a, boy, we mess up the compressors with that. That is a little tiny train beaconing through for Jimmy and the gang up there in Chicagoland. SWL 35, Mr. Bill. Seeing if Red Monkey Communications has stopped. I'll get Mr. Bill checked in. Red Monkey Communications. What's the weather like in Cheyenne? Is it getting cold? It probably will. Will be soon. Let's go over to SWL 36. Shortwave listener 37. I will get Chris checked in. He'll probably be by a little bit later. The Echo link I think is up and running. Hopefully the audio is working. The internet connection on that has been bad, but we've been able to manage to get a few check-ins. The crossband is up. I already talked to Aaron earlier, so I know it's working. Over to Sam. Sam, you're going to be hard-pressed to get a 10.5 from Hawaii because I don't hear them anymore. SWL 38. Oops, the radio is king even when I tell it not to. So Sam should be in. I'll wait for him to show up on the list. Who else is out there? Jukebox 502. Hello, radio to you. SWL 39. Also, hello to Jungle Joe C. Video Gates. Hello, radio. I don't know. I don't know if what we're doing here qualifies as a video gate. It's just kind of a YouTube situation. But there are a lot of good gates up there. MMM, John is on there a lot with a nice SDR radio and things like that. So we try to do our best here with whatever it is that we have. SWL 40. Let me get Larry checked in. I was thinking he would climb up to the roof with some portable device and check in, but I didn't hear him. And Dennis, we did get you checked in if you're listening. SWL 41. It's nice how quiet it got. I made some contacts today on one on 15, some on 40, some on 10. I was actually hearing a little bit of 10-meter AM activity, but not too much. And who did I call? Road Dog 507 checking in, of course, from the Hudson Valley, New York, saying good evening to everyone. And I guess where you are up there is pretty soon to be good morning. 507 is in. SWL 42. SWL 43. I will get Crazy Eddie with the proxy check-in. And around the corner and up the hill, Mr. 360, SWL 44. Ray, I will get you checked in. Always sounding good on the Friday night net. Sideband is good when you are a mud duck like me. Some people that can't hear you can often hear you. Get a few more watts out the door. Sam, I see you. We got you checked in beautiful Byron, which is north and east of here. I don't know, 80, 90 miles, something like that. That would be a super long haul direct. I'm sure there'd be a lot of backscatter if we could hear you. Albert, you guys are listening. All right, I don't know. I'll check a little bit later. I don't know if our link up to Squamish is up and running tonight. It has been up, but broken. I'm just going to do, I'll do a quick cue in to see if it's going to come up. Oh, okay. Hear that? It just might work. So let me turn that off. So keep an ear out a little bit later on, and we'll see if we can't do the satellite link up to you guys. That'll be fun. Let's go to SWL 45. SWL 45, Paul and Kelly, if you are listening up there over the Universal Media Netweb, or maybe you got an antenna on one of the radios, we got you checked in, sounding good, and maybe looking forward to a visit up that way to trace the coaxes, and see that everything is good to go. Over to shortwave listener 46, SWL 47, SWL 48. I got Sam checked in from Facebook, SWL 49. Don't forget the onions. I thought it was don't forget to feed the fish. Oh, they're talking about, we're talking about recipes. It is that time for that tater tot, that really good tater tot potato ham thing that Chrissy gave us a long time ago. I've got the recipe still for that. It's a great autumn-winter thing to bake in the oven. So I got to pull out my recipe for that and do it again. I've probably forgotten. I'm not a great cook. I probably forgot how to make it. Here's SWL 50. Hello, radio. Yeah, you don't have to forget to feed the piranhas. They kind of remind you. SWL 51. All right, Dave and Sanger was on the queue here moments ago. So if you're listening, 305, I've got you checked in. Over. All right, this gentleman has a choice of about 3 different ways to get into my building here. So we'll see which one he chooses, if any. Maybe 4. SWL 52.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis. And just to confuse you, I should key up on 2 radios at the same time. Yeah, we're not going to do that at the moment. From behind the golden microphone, SWL 52 is on frequency and out here on the west side.
Sounding good. I think you're one of the few stations that can actually, there's a couple that actually jump in on all 4 venues that come into the control room here.
Roger.
Yeah, see, there's number 2. So you are sounding good. The X is in the square. Aaron doing some DX talking around the country today, reminding us that indeed it would be a good thing if you're thinking about getting your amateur radio ticket or upgrading to do so right now, because we have some great conditions going on the bands, and that will last for a couple more years, so plenty of time to get in. And a lot of you probably have radios that are frequency capable on the amateur bands, so why not put them to good use? SWL 53, Mr. Belair checked in moments ago.
K6USY.
Page 3, proxy check in for Mr. Boardjammer 54, up the hill to SWL 55. I'm going to get M&M checked in. You checked in last night on the Ditchbank sideband. That super loud signal as always. Is it time for? I'm loading the APRS. The Running Man. No, it's the Automobile Tonight. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the Net. 56, just for kicks.
You are sounding good. You know, I got to get a different little icon. I'm getting tired of seeing the shack or the barn or whatever they give you. But I don't know. I don't know what would be appropriate. Phil, you are sounding good. We've got you checked in. As always, thanks for joining us. And joining us times what? About 3,000? I don't know. 365 times 30? I don't know. A long time. Thanks for checking in.
Thanks for checking me in too, Dennis.
All right, very good. I wasn't sure if you were by the radio, but I knew if you were, I would hear you.
I'm here. Thank you.
All right, good deal. 55 is in. 56 is in. Mr. Brown Dog Audio, SWL 57 checked in early over on the video side. That takes us to SWL 58. I'm going to put a question mark for that Tennessee guy. He promised us he was going to try and do some trickery to get into the net here, so I'm going to hold him to that. I still haven't caught him on HF. I think he's got some. Antennas set up, which would make him sound pretty good. SWL 59. Are you around? Over. Oh, he's right there. All I have to do is look. He's checking in. He's checking in for the whole month. Uncle Hairball, you are doing good, and thanks for joining us tonight. You know, there are so many styles of D104s. When you say just a plain old D104, it's, well, yeah, it's just a silver thing with the push-to-talk bar, maybe not a battery, but they are the classic, iconic mic. SWL 60. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Dennis. Well, unfortunately, there's no signal flight tonight, not till next week. Anyway, SWL 60, checking in.
Checking in and checked in. The X is in the square. Thanks for taking a little time out of your Saturday evening to say hello, radio.
Thank you much, Dennis.
If you're just tuning in, or our signal is wafting out of the local area, or you accidentally clicked on the YouTube link and saying, what is this? This is the old Tube Radio Network, where real radios will be glowing in the dark just a little bit. The CB radios, most of which should be the Class D style from 1958 to about 1978, when they started making lots of solid state. We focus on the radios with the valves, with the tubes. And think of it like an old car show, you know, the fins in chrome and getting together on a Saturday evening at the hamburger stand and kicking the tires and looking through the windshield and say, that is a cool radio. Kind of stuff like that. That's what we do. Our shortwave listeners who are may or may not be radioed. You don't have to have a radio to participate, that's for sure. Or any fancy numbers, come along and say hello, radio. And if you were in CB a long time ago or knew somebody that was, this will be a little bit of history, we hope, on the way things used to be, and in most cases around here still are. How about SWL 61?
61, checking in, Dennis.
All right, it's the 2-for-1, before and after and during, and you're still sounding good even without the skip. Thank you, Dino.
Thank you, sir. I got you at almost 7 pounds, right at 7 pounds. That's the best I've ever heard you.
All right, well, you know, I had my Wheaties this morning, and I'm wearing a new, maybe it's the corduroy jacket with the patches. That added a pound for sure. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, sir.
You know, the way you dress can affect how you sound on the radio. And the reason we do this, if you look at a lot of the old, especially on the ham radio ads, the people operating the radios are dressed in suits. So maybe that's what you have to do to get a good signal report. To be 9 pounds and good modulation in Chestnut and Herndon, you should look your best in front of your plain old D104 microphone. Let's go to SWL 62. None of this, I ain't got no panties on. Doggone it, dress up. Let's go to SWL 63. I can't believe I said that. SWL 64. And Craig is checking in. I see you there. I put the X in the square from beautiful Wisconsin. Someone asked about the weather. You know, it was 82 today, down from the mid-90s the whole week. We are going to be in the low 70s coming up because there is a hurricane off the coast of Mexico, so south of us. And the spinning winds, you know, similar to what happens in Florida, but it doesn't come up through California. It goes across Mexico, but we get the tail end of the winds and the inclement weather, so dropping us about 20 degrees during the day and another 10 degrees at night, with the possibility of some rain, although I think they've canceled that. Let's go to SWL 65. SWL 66. SWL 67. Got Bill checked in from Canby. I've got the X in the square. SWL 68. Michael checked in before the net started here tonight from New York, so I'll get him checked in. And also SWL 69. Kenny got an early check in. All right, I'm trying to get 67 to light up. Okay, there it is. For some reason, didn't want to check in. SWL 70. And hear the noise. The band is still a lot of atmospheric noise going on. So I wonder if we will get some other skip. Let me check. Let's go over to where I to be able to find it. The real-time map. And see what is going on. Well, still some maybe 11-meter stuff up below the Great Lakes. There's a 47 meg. There's nothing on the West Coast. No little beacons out to Hawaii or anywhere else. So we'll keep an ear out to see what may or may not be happening. I was going to SWL 71 and 00, by the way. If you don't know, Stan, so this is your second check-in from Dallas, Georgia. Mr. Announcer on the microphonium. Man, 40 meters has been going long in the late evenings here. So I'm hearing stations from out your way with not a problem. And early in the morning at 4 a.m., I woke up and turned the radio on, and the stations are just pounding in from that area. So maybe I will see if I can get my vertical to work and make some contacts out there. SWL 72.
72, checking in.
Loud and clear, Radio Boy. The X is in the square. Thanks for joining us on the old Tube Radio Network. Shortwave listener 73. Someone told me to check in John, who is everybody heard of T-Hunt? Transmitter Hunts. John is we were discussing that today. He's one of our local guys that usually comes in first because he's got all the tricks and all the tools to do the transmitter fox hunts. Let's go to, we got a check-in for Ms. Jilly, SWL 74. And also John has some big iron radios. I've been trying to encourage him to bring them up here. Put him on that 11-meter notch on the dial and bring him up here. Over to SWL 75. SWL 77. I'm sorry, SWL 76. All right, for some reason, there's things keeping the transmitter. SWL 76 out of Red Foxman. There you are. I'm not looking in the right spot. Rhode Island is here. Reading the mail on an old Heathkit GW11. I know there are some out here locally. We used to get a lot of Heathkit checking the GW11 and the GW12 specifically. In fact, I bet, let me digress here. Because whenever somebody says something about a radio, all right, My internet will not break. I'm going to put up a shot. I know we have one in the Rolodex. Man, everything's slow. The GW, for amateur radios, all the radios were HW. They used to call them a hot water. And for CB, there it is. They used to call them, or they called them the GW. So I think that's what you're working on, the GW11. Very simple because you had to build a little convection cooling. Hey, it's big time. It's got an S meter channel selector. I don't know. Doesn't look like it's all 23 channels. Volume and squelch, and a couple other great items on the GW11. There was an 11A and an 11D. 1962, 8 tubes, 3 with continuously tunable receiver. All right, 3 channels it says, and then you've got the tunable receive. Okay, so the GW11A was 115 volt AC. The GW11D was the 12 volt DC. So I don't know if they had a 6 volt. In 62, they were starting to drop the 6 volt radios. And were you to have the brand new kit with the 8 tubes and all the parts and pieces and the case to assemble, it would put you back about $65 back in the day. So who knows what they cost now. All right, a little divergence and a little treat of what will be coming up in the old tube radio network here when we start glowing in the dark. Hope you wish you luck on your GW11 project. Over to SWL 77. I will get a proxy check in for 1017, SWL 78. Richard from Wild Wildemore. I have not heard Richard on 40 meters, nor somewhere around here on the 11 meter side. SWL, I'll get him proxy checked in. SWL 79. SWL 80. And Neil, 147. Let me get you checked in now, because what happens is everything scrolls away, and then I can't find it. I don't forget. I just don't see it. Page 4, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Neil checking in. Kakalaki with great conditions. Yes, from just about everywhere. Yes, same thing here on the West Coast. As you heard, things have faded out right now, but we are possibly looking for the E-skip, the short hop skip. Radio Randy, SWL 99 is, and we'll get him checked in as well. Randy, we are waiting. As you can hear, the Pacific has signed out, and we haven't heard anything from the West Coast. But were we to do that, you might have a chance of getting in with the big station. If not, like they say, continue doing the great audio that you do down on 40 meters and beyond, even FT8. I'm sure you probably got some great contacts today, because 10 has been quite open. So thanks for joining us. Page 4. I wanted to give a report. The Big Red Limo has been working with students at Fresno State. They were working on getting people to and from the ball games, where they were, basketball or football or whatever they do, working with the students there to make sure everybody's having a good time and getting where they need to go. And they even have those, the metallic signs that carefully go on the side so it doesn't scratch anything to promote the cause. So, as always, the Costco card is pleased to put gas, and those things have a big tank, gas in the Big Red Limo, so we can promote good things around the place here, courtesy of the Old Tuber Radio Network. Over to page 4, SWL 81.
37.
All right. I'm having a problem with my key-up system here. Hold on. So I'll get a proxy in for 81, and also I will take the proxy off of 37, and we will put the live X in the square. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Dennis. I'm sorry I'm late. I was doing things, but I'm here now. But I wanted to at least get checked in here. Over.
Yes, we will do that. This is the doing things frequency, so make sure that they get done.
I can try to do my best on that.
All right, good deal. Thanks for stopping by the Old Tube Radio Network.
You betcha.
All right, and if I could keep things here. The pocket, in this new old jacket, the pocket protector just barely, the lapel is too wide. See, that's 1970s. I guess they stopped wearing pocket protectors in the 1970s. That other jacket was perfectly made. This one, not so. Let's go to, and I can't remember if Ron said to proxy him in or not. We'll find out shortly. SWL 82. I'm sure there was something going on, so we'll get the X in the square for Ron, who you might hear as net control on the, if you were to be on 36 lower, the Ditch Banks sideband net Fridays Pacific Daylight Time still, I guess, for another week at 8 p.m. here on the West Coast, Central Valley. Tune in. Had some stations checking in from Australia. Squamish. The 428 mobile is checked in live and direct. So head on down to 36 lower at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Listen in, and if you're not on the roster, get checked in when they ask for visiting stations. You will have a good time. SWL 83. SWL 84. Jerry was working the 11 or the noontime net down on 40 meters with his classic Drake station. Or is it Swan? Anyway, it's his classic station that he's got, and always sounding good. So I will get a check-in for Jerry, SWL 84, also the Mountain Maid, the Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl, 86, 87, and 88, respectively. Randy says, yeah, it's quiet on 11. Not hearing anything. Not hearing... Well, I mean, were there to be, Randy, were there to be an Old Tube Radio Network in the Phoenix area, you would be able to check in there. I'm not sure why there isn't. Maybe it's on a different day. Maybe you just have to come by at a different time. And I mean, why doesn't everybody do this for 39 years straight? get on the air? Should do that. SWL 90. We've got radios coming up. Don't go away. SWL 91. Waiting for Felix. I may put a... Oh, there he is. Checking there. I was gonna check you in, Felix, but I thought I shouldn't have to do that, and I don't. Right there. Say hello to Net Control here and all the SWLs and the Old Tube Radio operators yet to be announced. See if we have any tonight. It's been quiet. We have great weather. People are out doing stuff. Got cool today. Should be cool tomorrow, but that means I'm going to have to go out and do things. But that's okay. I like to get stuff done. Let's go to see if Jimmy's out there. SWL 93. SWL 95, Warthog 95, what is going on in beautiful Orlando? SWL 96, Dennis, if you're still listening, I did get you checked in. I got your message, and I actually heard you, I do believe. So 96 is checked in out there in the ditch banks of Kerman. Jumping off the subway, out of the Big Dig, SWL 97. Boston 97 Jim is running the Green Monster tonight with the D104G stand, the Tram TR27E. All right, that's our first one this evening. And as you know, Jim, we might be able to match at least one of those tonight. Get another Green Monster coming in. Great radio and always great audio. They look good and they sound good. If they know what they say. If they look good and they sound good, they are good. Let's go to SWL 98, Tracy. Tracy, I saw you in there earlier. I have not been able to hear you on either the Wednesday or the Friday night net, and I don't know if that's just me not listening, or if you haven't been there, or if we just don't have conditions, or what. But I know you're here now, so the X is in the square. Live and direct 99, who is, say hello to Randy. He's out there on the video chat. Randy has about, I don't know, about 2 tons? 2 tons of radios that could make it here on this frequency. You don't try to lift them. You just roll them around on the little rolly wheels, and they're all at the warehouse, right? I know they're connected. Randy used to be, or he was one of the net controllers on the AMI net, which you can hear. I believe it's still on Wednesday nights, but they have it on Monday. They have some stuff on Monday and Wednesday nights if you go here on the West Coast, but they beacon out quite nicely because there are a lot of high-power radios on, I think it's 7 p.m., 8 p.m. on 3.870 megahertz. The 75 meter band. You want to hear some good classic AM with a lot of the stations, with a lot of the manufacturers, Johnson and Heathkit and Hallicrafters and Hammerl, and a lot of the manufacturers that went on to make some Class D radios as well. So some good bones going on there. So Randy, we are still hoping we get some conditions. It is time to check out the Echo Link link. So let me go over to the right. Let me go over to the right device and see if we can't route our Echo Link station tonight and get a check and see what's going on in McClellanville, South Carolina. KD4BAO from KB6GFD.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
And will do. 100 is checked in. Tony is firing up. He's getting ready. It's called an activation. He's getting ready to put on the DX map, our activation of tubes on the air from Central California. So thanks, Tony. You are sounding good, and you are checked in. KB6GFD. 100 is in. 102 from Arkansas. I saw John in moments ago. Saying hello, radio. Started studying for his license again. All right, again is a good thing. I don't know how many agains I had when I started studying for mine. I had a long again. I started studying in high school, and then my again was about 12 years later when I actually got it. So hopefully this is the good again. Paused his first practice test, so that's encouraging. Passed his first practice test, so that's encouraging me to push on. And the tech class, the first class of license, you've got phone privileges at 28,300, 28,500, which is packed with some great signals, and you don't need a lot going on. You don't need a lot going on in the way of equipment and the way of antennas to make some great contacts. And where you are in a great location, right in the middle of everything. So you point out towards the west, you hear us, you hear the Pacific. You point the other way, you're going to hear Europe and South America. So yeah, that little 10-meter wire antenna, that you can make that up in half an hour. Run it to the radio. So look forward to to chatting with you when you get the official document. Let's go to shortwave listener 109. I will get Mr. Crawdad checked in, because if he were there, you would see me bounce up in my chair as the loud audio beaconing through my headphoniums. The Johnson 500. We have not had, Randy, we have not had Johnson 500s check in. I think we did have a couple of Collins. We've had the Heathkit. I think we had a Dix 100 check in here. And my HT37 checked in. The Gonset G76. So some of the classic HF radios that'll work up on this band. Rumor has it that we might have some Gold Dust Twins coming by shortly. So looking forward to that. SWL 111, Robert checked in early when the skip was happening. Robert, we've got you in. SWL 113. SWL 114.
114 checking in.
All right, I was thinking my S meter was broken, but it's not. It just went past S9. Sounding good. We got you checked in, Wayne.
Thank you for the check-in, Dennis.
Over to digital SWL and even more. He got his papers from long ago from Popular Electronics. And that is John, 128, who is somewhere near Fairfax, Virginia, checking in tonight. Thank you, John, as always. And I see Mr. Bill from Cheyenne, Wyoming, from cool Cheyenne. I bet it's going to be even cooler. We're getting some cool weather here, so should be likewise for you guys. Thanks. You've got both you in. Let's go over to shortwave listener 131. SWL 133. I was listening. Is that you, Dave? It's way down. Try it again. Okay. Must have been hearing something. Let's go to shortwave listener 135.
Okay, if this thing is working, SWL 135 checking in.
It is working. And something tells me we will be hearing more about that radio shortly when we start glowing in the dark.
I sure hope so.
Indeed. And UDX 640 says the worst thing about Popular Electronics projects was the 30-day wait for corrections. When they say, whoops, that capacitor value was supposed to be this. So if you heard a loud noise, right? Or the polarity was this way. So if you heard a loud noise when you put it in, this is why. 135 is in. Thank you, Cliff. Let's go to SWR 137. Up the hill, Tony in Course Gold, SWL 145. I will get Tony checked in as, because of my schedule, I missed the Friday net. I was looking to see if I could find the Friday questions. I think I got an email for that, so hang on a second here. And my internet is super duper slow. All right, here's the Friday questions and answers. Question number 1. An inductor wound around a resistor attached to the plate lead of a grounded grid power amplifier is used for ? So an inductor wound around a resistor, so an inductor could be a piece of wire, right? Attached to the plate lead of a grounded grid power amplifier is used for what? And I know Harvey is raising his hand on that. Answer, parasitic suppression. So you're basically making a choke. Choke assembly has been used in vacuum tube amplifiers for at least 50 years. So, safely look through the hole or open up your amplifier when it's off and you've discharged everything, and you'll say, why did they coil that wire around the resistor at the top of the little tube there? And your answer is that inductor, as it were, is a parasitic suppressor. So you've got to have those parasitics suppressed. And that's a good thing. All right, number 2. The 160 meter band, that's the ham band from 1.8 to 2.0 megahertz, right above the broadcast band. The 160 meter band went to war during World War II to be utilized in a radio navigation system called ? And I think it's still happening, the LORAN, LORAN. So do a search for that. Some type of locating, navigation locating system up in the 160 meter band. I don't know what a LORAN signal sounds like because I don't hang out 160, but I bet some of the 160 guys could tell you that. All right, thank you, Tony, for the questions. Let's go over to SWL 147. Neil's been checked in. Mr. Snow Beast Jr., Bobby, 188. He's probably taken a nap from all the skip shooting today. I'll get Bobby checked in. Up in Course Gold, the Starliner, Jim checked in earlier. Probably still listening in. Hello, Jim. And SWL 226 out of Mariposa, Mr. Shockwave. And anybody else that I missed or wants to say hello, radio? Such as Mid-Atlantic Radio Repair. Says he's sounding good. Thanks for the good words. Okay, I'm going to switch over, change the feed. I will be back shortly, and we will be talking to, about, and for the glow-in-the-dark radios. Hence the name, the Old to Tube Radio Network. Back in a moment. And it would be a good bet that you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
You know, that's impressive. The little wiggly modulation percent meters and all the lights blinking. I don't know what it means. I think it means that the old tube radio network, such that it is, to the best of our ability, is on the air. I am signing in on the blank but soon to be populated old tube radio network sign-in sheet for October 21st, 2023. I believe it is that date. There's the official list. Yeah, we still do it the old-fashioned way. I mean, could type it into a computer, but, you know, we didn't have such things. We didn't have such luxuries back in the day. Pocket protector. I have a pocket protector and our pen. And turn on the radio. All right, get all the chores out of the way. All right, the radio is on. Can you see it? Good. And the pocket pen today is thanks. Oh, it's got a thanks. Where's the less than stellar camera here? Let's see what we can get. Thanks from Harold's CB Radio Sales Service Air Conditioning and Body Shop. Wait, they do it all. In South Haven, Kansas, in the 67140 area code. What a nice little pin here. Let's see if I can get a bad picture of it on the bad camera. There it is. It never focuses. I even did the pre-focus. It won't. That's supposed to autofocus, but there it is. The Harold's CB Radio Shop. Nice. They don't make them like this. Does it still click? Kind of. It kind of still clicks. See, it takes a while, but it comes up. All right, I'm going to put a populate. Let me unclick it so it doesn't make a mess. Populate the pocket protector, and we will say the Old Tube Radio Network is listening for your check-ins.
135, 135.
We got a nice quiet frequency at 9:10 Pacific Daylight Time. Cliff, step up into the air chair, and we'll see what you got. I don't know on this one. I know it is October, and typically your radios are thematic to the thing du jour, if indeed that's applicable. So I'm not sure what we could have there, but it sounds okay. Over to you.
That's assuming this is all going to work right. Hello. Okay. I am a tad low in frequency. Oh, let's see. I could just give you a hint. It's small.
It's small. There's no such thing as a small tube. Actually, there is. And it's, okay, I bet I know. And it's got to have a magic eye. And I bet it's one that you haven't checked in a while. Let's see. I'm gonna flip the Rolodex without giving anything away. I'm going to go A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm going to hold the Rolodex at G. But I could be wrong. Go ahead.
Nope, I think you probably guessed it. Yeah, an awful lot of tubes in an awful small package. This is from Young Spring and Wire Company in beautiful downtown Burbank, California. This is the Gonset G11 Citizens Communicator. One channel and one channel only, crystal controlled transmit and receive. And 10 tubes in this tiny little box. It's, I think, what is it, about 8 or 10 inches by 8 or 10 inches cubed. Let's see, an awful lot of tubes packed into a very small package. Back to you.
It is a small package. Let me see if I can keep keyed up here. I've got a problem. Hold on. All right, there we go. Young Spring and Wire Company, Gonset, who I believe the company was here on the West Coast. If I can find out some information about the company, I will do that. And they made some great stuff. They made really classic, different radios. The Communicator series, the ones that have the civil defense with the handles. They made special trunk mounts for your car. Radios that would take your AM radio and convert the receiver to some other frequency. I have a pair of G76s, which were AM radios, 6-meter HF stuff that I actually did. I think I ran net control on one of them once. We got it to work on 11 meters. But the G11, the one we're showing, and I think I've got yours, so we'll put that in there too, is just to get started, is the one that's from Rob's collection. But you can see it is a nice little the speaker is as big as the radio, over.
Well, just about. Yeah, if you have my picture up there, you should be able to see the 6ME5 Magic Eye tube in the upper left-hand corner. And I am, if you have my picture, I'm showing the original microphone, which I do have, but it just isn't very loud. So what I'm using right now is a Turner Plus 2 amplified desktop-type microphone. Back to you.
Okay, well, I know we have the picture. They have multiple things, so I'm going to switch over to it. We're going to go from sepia tone to beautiful color. All right, there is what, if you're at oldtuberadio.net or on the video side, what Cliff is talking about. That might even be his key-up Mono de Oro there on the Citizens Communicator with the Magic Eye tube. Pretty cool. One channel. So does that mean you have to pry into that thing to pull out the crystal, or do they give you a little door like they did on the Hammerlin?
Oh, no. Only if they did. No, you got to take this thing apart and get in there and find where the transmit crystal and the receive crystal are, and do it that way. They do not make it easy for you.
Okay. Well, the good thing is that it's got a crystal. I don't know what the frequency would be. There may be some multiplication thing going on, but it's here at 27085.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is either. One interesting thing, though, is that this evidently was originally a Canadian radio. Because, again, if you've got my picture of it, you might be able to see at the bottom, it says channel 08. But the frequency says 27.085. Yeah, this was channel 8 in Canada originally, same as our channel 11.
Okay, so maybe manufactured their channel 8. Interesting. Let me see. I was trying to pull up on the archives here. Gonset history. Initial founder, Robert Roman Gonset. I know he was a ham. Was born in 1891 in Ukraine, Russia. Immigrated to Eastern Canada. Okay, there's the connection. In 1907. Sounds like my great-grandfather. I did the same thing. The family moved to California in 1916 and established the Gonset Company in Burbank. All right, another beautiful downtown Burbank radio. Did you know that?
I'm pretty sure I said it earlier on, yeah.
Okay, well, I was thinking it was down the street from the General Radio Telephone guys. All right, Robert's son, Faust R. Robert Gonset, was born in 1916. Faust was an early ham operator with the call sign Whiskey 6 Delta India Zulu. Robert R. Gonset also established the Gonset Waterproof Electric Company with his son, and the company supplied electrical equipment to the United States Navy during World War II and the United States government after the war. In the 1930s, Faust contributed articles about transmitter modifications to Radio Magazine. In 1942, he co-edited the Radio Handbook. Wow, for years, the major competition to the handbook put out by the ARRL. So there was 2 of them. Now, did he have anything to do with that radio? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Robert is the name I think I had heard before, but yeah, I did not know all that about Mr. Gonset. And I think that, again, although this was probably manufactured for the Canadians originally, this particular radio anyway, I'm pretty sure they were manufactured in Burbank, and then sent out. The numbers, the channel number and the frequency numbers are they're pretty clearly like, rubber ink stamped in there. So, they probably, got an order and say, I want to channel this or that radio, and they would, fill the order and ship out the radio. At least that's what it looks like they probably did.
And I would agree. It's got the Gonset, the little red Gonset diamond, which I have on my... I've got a Gonset G11, and I've got the communicator. I think it's a 2. It's an AM 2-meter transmitter in a little portable unit with a handle on it, believe it or not. Okay, in 1958, the Gonset company was sold to Young Spring and Wire. So that is the first year, of course, that the Class D service was created in the end of 58. So they did not wait to jump on the bandwagon. I don't know the manufacture date of this radio, but I'm pretty sure it's probably 1959 or 1960. Faust Gonset became president and majority owner of the Minitron Incorporated for a brief period in 1960. In 1963, Faust Gonset started the company Sideband Engineers. Okay, SBE. You've seen the old radios, especially ham radios under SBE. That would be Sideband Engineers. So, Gonset Company, 601 South Main, Burbank, California. See if we, and Gonset, 58 and 59, a division of Young Spring and Wire Corporation, South Main Street, Burbank. So maybe these radios were done in 59 or so. Anyway, it sounds good for a single channel radio with 10 tubes. It must have, let's see if I got a tube complement here. It must have a rectifier tube or something. $150. And it's in Photofax CB1. So this is the original issue. If you were getting into CB radio when the FCC banged the gavel, this would be one of the radios that you would find at your local electronics store, no doubt. Over to you.
Dennis?
This is the Basic Dennis, over.
I'll make it quick. They had two buildings, 601 South Main and 801 South Main in Burbank. One was their showroom, the other one was the manufacturing facility. Showroom and I think offices, and the other one was where they made them.
Wow, showroom and offices. But they had, Gonset had a lot of other radios and, like I said, 10 meters and the communicators and the civil defense thing. So pretty good. So Burbank was the hot spot for your two-way radio stuff. Thanks for that info. And, Cliff, take a transmission. You mentioned frequency. We'll see if we can track you here.
Okay. Let's see. I got about 0843, 0844. So it's just a little bit low in frequency. And yeah, it's an early radio. And interesting, some of these early radios having magic eyes. They must have thought better of it later on or something. I don't know. Did you get me tuned in?
Yeah, if I can get back to the AM mode here. You are correct. 084350. So about 0844. You're allowed 700. So you are in tolerance.
Well, that's good. It's somewhere pretty close. That's just according to this frequency counter. That's what it says, and it's reasonably right on. But thanks for checking. Thanks for letting me check it in. And I got one more I want to get in here if it's going to work. We'll see if it does. So with that, I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay, and I have an ad. Gonset's new G11 Citizens Communicator. The communicator was their name. And here it is. It's stamped 1959, December 31st. A complete two-way radio station for use in the new Class D citizen service on 11 meters. And they go on and on talking about hundreds of uses for the new Citizens Communicator carrier in your car, used in your home or office. That's what CB was for. It wasn't for calling CQ and talking to somebody somewhere. It was home, office, sporting events, fishing, hunting, camping, boating, auto racing, skiing, hiking on golf carts. How many of you had a citizens communicator on your golf cart in 1960? Who used to drive a golf cart? Jackie Gleason. Why now? FCC assigns 22 channels. It talks about the band, the FCC. 149.50 talks about operating power. And who knows, that might be Faust Gonset himself in front of the crane. Right for a free booklet, G11 for business or pleasure. I was trying to see which address they had on there, but it's too blobby. It's too blobby to see. You know, while you're here, and I don't know if I did, go ahead and take a transmission so we can get an S meter reading. Or maybe you are changing radios already.
Dennis?
This is the basic Dennis, over.
If you look at the article again, Gonset's original name ended in 2 T's. He lopped one off for the company.
Okay. I wonder if they spell it that way in the item. Well, he was a Ukrainian guy, right? Robert Roman Gonset. You are correct. G-O-N-S-E-T-T. And that's the way they spell it. The Gonset Company is spelled with a T. In 1916, the Gonset Company was spelled with 2 T's, but when they made it to Burbank, they dropped the T. The silent T, over.
Okay. I'm going to stand by for a while, let Cliff get back in.
Hello.
All right, sounding good. So I didn't get his S meter reading, but that's okay. So Jingle Singers, are you there, Cliff? Are you on a different radio?
No, same radio. I was on the other side of the radio, just starting to pull plugs and stuff. I didn't get back here fast enough. You want to give me a meter reading now?
Yeah, there it is. It's big as day. Your S8 to a little over 5.9. Good forward modulation and a good S9. You know, what do they say? 9 pounds, good modulation. You know where.
Okay. Let's try to give it one of these. And hello. Okay. That'll look interesting on the meter.
It does. I mean, it's a nice sound for the microphonium and all of that. You would think it was a much fancier piece of radio gear. Thanks for radio number 1. The Jingle Singers are ready to do what they do best, and then we'll be listening for more radio check-ins on your old tube radio network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening for radio number 2. Want to wave a hand and a honk of the Bozo Control Proboscis, Captain Robert joining us over on the video side, out there in beautiful Nevada. Got you checked in, sir. I think you said you may be in for another trip into the specialty area, and so we say good wishes and good luck for that. You always seem to do well, so you've got a good disposition to get you in and to get you out to join us here on Saturday evenings, and we appreciate you doing that, Mr. Captain Robert. Thanks as always for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Who else is joining us? Germantown, Wisconsin, Elkhorn is back. Mountain View. You know, the Mountain View are the Google bots. So everybody say hello. Even Google likes to get in and listen to the old Tube Radio Network occasionally. And John, thank you, 128. Lorancy was terminated in 2000. I probably knew that, but remember the guys talking about it on 160, so there's probably an article in QST around that time saying what they did and what they didn't do. And Palm Springs. I was just looking at some mid-century modern Palm Springs architecture there, 4570. And nowhere did I see Chuckles and Vinegar, but you know they're hanging out somewhere. Have a good rest of your evening. Thanks for joining us. Just checking. Gonset made the 10 and 11 meter converters that you put on your car radio. They made 2 meter VFOs. They had an antenna, a marine converter. They made a beam antenna. They had VFOs for 6 and 2 meters. There's some of the early ones in the VHF portions. 75, 20, and 10 mobile receiving converter. You had to be careful. You put those things in your trunk and you'd get a crossed wire or something would go wrong and you'd end up having a big fire. So I remember some people talking about that. Civil defense, the communicators 2s and 3s for 2 meter. I think they had a 10 meter and a 6 meter. The communicator, 2, 3, and 4. The G11, the G12, the G14. They even had a 10 meter. So yeah, the civil defense. GSB 100, they had some amplifiers, sidewinders. So they did a lot of stuff for the Young Spring and Wire Company, and we're grateful for our tube radio operators that take time to find this stuff, keep it going on the air, and then bring it by and say hello radio. Listening for radio number 2.
Hello, can you hear this one?
I can hear you over.
Okay, SWL 135 back here. I do not have the amplified mic working with this one for some reason, but we'll give this one a go. Let's see, I believe this one was manufactured in Japan for the Robin Company in Michigan. This is the Robin T123. Let's see, 11 tubes in this one, but all 23 channels included with this one. Back to you.
Yeah, fast forward, I don't know, 9, 10 years or so, and this is where we go for the Citizen Band radio. Probably the last radio to have a magic I-tube in it. I don't know who else was putting them in the late 60s. Early 60s, there's a few. A lot of manufacturers were doing that. So a holdover from days of yore, but a great-looking radio, and apropos for, if I were to get the picture here, for our October Halloween spooky radios. This one looks kind of friendly, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a little friendlier looking. Yeah, the last Magic Eye tube was the 6ME5, which is a very small round one. This is the light pipe type of Magic Eye tube. This is the probably even rarer than the last Magic Eye tube, the 6RE13. one you just don't see in an awful lot of stuff. I think they put them in these radios and a couple of other radios that are very similar. And it was also used as a tuning indicator in some Japanese stereo stuff, and that was about it. It wasn't around for very long. But let's back to you.
Magic Eye tube, yeah, we're looking, let's see if I can find a shot here. We're looking at the side of the tube, where on the other tube you're looking down on the top. So let's see, this is a great picture, but I'll bring it up here. There's the prior 6 ME5 style, where you're looking to the top. Although it says it's a 6 RE13. I think they may have it wrong. I'll bring up a 6 RE13, but yeah, even give you a little pinout. Yeah, there's the 6 RE13, where you're looking at the side of the tube with the bars from the top to the bottom, and I guess as the voltage increases, you bring the bars together to indicate something, to indicate maximum something.
Well, probably modulation on these. Again, usually used as a tuning indicator, these things would show your maximum, received level, of your RF receive signal. And it's Elliot, it's nice to see you here on the meter. The last radio does not have any kind of meter with it. This one does, and shows you at 20 over. Over?
Wow, I am, what's the proverbial thing? I'm in the red. And so they had to mount the tube. The other one, they had to mount it horizontally. So you're looking down at the top of the tube. So it'd be interesting to see how that works. Here, maybe they did it because it's easier to mount. Mount it vertically like all the other tubes, but then you got to push it to the front of the radio and then cut a hole, cut a little a sketch and beveled thing in the front of the radio so you can see the side of the tube. And it would have been neat if it let you see the whole tube, but maybe more confusing.
Nah, I think it would have been cooler too if you'd see the whole thing. But yeah, they had to put it on the chassis, like all the other tubes, vertically, as you say. Yeah, at a point where it would be close enough to the front of the radio so you could see it and it would work. So that's kind of interesting from a design standpoint. The other one, on the Gonset, that, like you said, is horizontally mounted. And I think actually a little more difficult because you got a whole lot of wires going to it and a big clamp and everything that holds it, right in the right spot. It's a bit more delicate, I think, of an operation. This is probably a bit more solid, and maybe it's because the 123 here is also designed to be a mobile, so it might be a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? Rugged for mobile operation.
Indeed. Put up the S meters so you could see it in a little bit. This radio is probably, and I don't have a dBm meter, but just an S meter, maybe a dB or two less in signal. So your peaks don't quite come to the 5 over S9, and your resting is on the 8, but very, very close in the signal strength to the other radio. And okay, for as long as we're doing a comparison, take a transmission, and we'll also look at the frequency.
Yeah, this puts out West Paris is only 3 watts, barely swinging to 4. And my meter right now says 0848, so it's pretty close. It's just the teeniest bit low, but it's pretty close, eh? Back to you.
Yeah, I got 08477, and I think I don't have the scope. I don't have the RF scope up yet, but it looks like when it keys in, it moves a little bit lower, kind of sinks in a little bit lower, not drastically, but warms up and goes a little lower on frequencies. So it is good. You're also in tolerance with that one. Over.
Okay, yeah, interesting, because earlier when I was checking this out, it was the teeniest bit high. It was at 0852 or 0853. But yeah, it sunk down a little bit during the warm-up period, I guess. But that's okay. I think most of these do something like that.
There is actually a device, and you'll hear it if you tune into 11 or Channel 6 during the hot and heavy skip time, where they make the radio change frequency when it keys down. It goes meow. And that is because you're heterodyning with 400 other stations. You can tell that you've keyed up. Now, on these radios, they sort of do it naturally. So that may be where they got the idea that, you know what, you can always tell when an old radio is keying up because you hear the frequency shift. So someone's made this little device you put in your transistorized radio to mimic what the tube radios did naturally, because that's just what they did. Radio 2, Robin T123, from, up to 1972 when it was replaced by the T123B, the infamous second Panasonic chassis. This has one more tube than the Gonset. It's also got 2 transistors, because I think it had a DC to DC converter built in. Because it did do 12 DC and 100 volt AC, and you didn't have to buy a separate radio to do that. Let's see, CB35, that's the book, page 95, or just come over to the Old Tube Radio Network and hear it live and direct. Back to you. Thanks for radio number 2.
Okay, and I'm sure if you ever got my picture up there, you notice the red meter, but we're on green, channel 11. It's got 2 different colors of channels on it. There's a section of green channels and sections of red channels. And we've discussed this before, and I can never remember why they did that. But we are on the green channels right now.
Okay, I'm thinking the color change should shift. It's in the middle, I think. So it shifts around channel 14 or something like that?
On this one, channel 15. On channel 15, it switches to red and goes all the way to channel 23.
And then when does it go to green? Is it channel 8 or 9?
Now, let me check. Channel 8 is the end of the red. Channel 9 is where green begins.
Okay, from what I remember, because as you know, a lot of us know, when the FCC said this is citizen band communications, it's not for hobby stuff, it's for stations of a license to talk to each other. So you get KEO 8492 and a base, and you buy a couple units, and it's base to unit 1. You are talking to your station license. Now, they knew that there could be a business, or like they said, sporting. You've got your thing in the golf cart, and you want to talk to the people up in the clubhouse. Well, now you have your radio license in the cart, and maybe they have their license somewhere else. So you're talking to 2 different, KEO 8492 base to Unit 1 to KFA 7726. So you're talking to another station license. And I think they designated, and I believe channel 11, the green channels are channels that were approved to talk between 2 station licenses. I could be wrong about this, but I think that's what it was. The other frequencies were stations within the same license call. So, and early on, and people might remember this, when stations actually weren't using handles and they would talk, they would use their call letters. This happened a lot in Southern California, where I was. They called them the legal channels, and you would hear someone use their call and call another station, and they would, of course, have a sort of idle chit-chat, which wasn't the rules, but they were usually on channel 11 or channel 12, channel 13, in that range, because those were the designated channels to do that. So I believe that was just a reminder on your dial that were you to be talking to another station license, you should be in the green mode. Over.
Okay. Well, more power for the idle chit-chat. And all power to the transmitters. Thanks for letting me check it in. And are we doing this next week, too?
We are doing this next week, which would be, well, that's not Halloween night, is it? It'll be the 28th, something like that. So, yeah, and unless something breaks or comes up or whatever, the hurricane comes up from Mexico, which it's not supposed to do, we'll be here.
Okay, good. Well, so will I then. I got one more Magic Eye radio. You know which one it is, and I'll do that next week. Thanks for letting me check this one in, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, and we're supposed to have the Talking Pumpkin in. I think Espresso Trucking Company will be back on their way to whatever they've been doing, so a good time will be had by most. Speaking of a good time.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all and
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Wow, they're hitting it hard. They're jingle singers. They're excited about checking in yet another radio before we sign off this evening. The band is clear. The DX has gone away. We are anticipating possibly voices from the Pacific Northwest just showing up willy-nilly, randomly, checking a check of the DX map. Bringing it up here shows that still conditions in the Midwest, but nothing here on the West Coast. So we'll check them in locally. The Old Tube Radio Network listening. And I missed it, but I see Richard is in, so let me do the official check-in for SWL 78. Haven't heard you on, probably not, as usual, I'm never in the right spot. Haven't heard you on the 40-meter band, but I know it's been pretty good. It's been going long at night. It just drop out in a matter of about 10 seconds. And then when you were talking to Southern California from Central California, they're all gone, and now you hear Oregon and Washington. We are listening. Hello, Richard. We are listening for any and all check-ins here. Yeah, something's coming. The band is trying to open up. While I've got a chance, I'm going to fire up the Squamish Beacon, 27085.
OTR 428, British Columbia Mobile.
Man, listen to that great audio. British Columbia. See if I get the picture up here. Yeah, we hear you. No problem. It should be on 27085. Is the frequency display. And we'll see if we can't see the audio coming through. I don't know what the delay is. Sometimes the delay is pretty big.
Dennis, 428 calling in the mobile.
All right, there's 428 mobile sounding good. Live and direct from Squamish.
Hello, Dennis, it's 428. Trying to check in my Anytone Quad 6 and an Antron 99 in the front yard, and I'd like to check in 256 also. Thank you, Dennis.
All right, we got you checked in. Looking good, sounding good. You guys are in a very good spot for the satellite uplink. That is a good-looking signal on 27085, where my receiver to still be on there. So you're doing good. Here you find no problem tonight. I tried hearing myself last night on the 40 meters through this link, and I could just barely hear it. So they must have an antenna that works well or better.
Hey, Dennis, I want to give you another call there. It's 428 the mobile, checking in 256 in Squamish. Thank you for doing this.
All right, got you on the replay. Sounding good. 428 mobile. We'll go back to locally here, but got the check. And that is a good sounding mobile radio, and we were able to hear 428 live and direct on the Ditchbanks sideband at a couple of Fridays ago at 27,365. So not only does he get the local hop, he does pretty good on the skip as well. The Old Tube Radio Network, we have a little more time. We are listening for any and all check-ins.
Try to read some text at the same time, but you sound good. I can hear you in there, man. Are you on your portable? Hey, cool. I got the Antron in the front yard and just sitting in the mobile with the coax hooked up. You sound pretty good, dude.
You can't hear the other station, but it's 428 coming through nice and loud. Yeah, Richard, we are sort of blank. Once the sun went down in Australia in the gray line, we lost all the skip conditions. Although in the winter conditions, late October, November, and December, when the weather starts changing, is usually when we get the E-skip, the sporadic skip from the northwest. So anticipating that. Right now, we're anticipating your check-ins of any style here at 27085. We're listening.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Well, the channel is definitely charged up tonight, but not hearing too much. Yeah, Richard, I've got the RF gain turned up to keep the noise floor to a minimum. To a minimum, so that's what we got. It's S5 is where the drop-off point is. Yeah, it does look like it's stuck. If I open it up, it gets noisy. But you can see the noise levels at about S2 to S3. You know, Travis, that's what I'm thinking. There's probably a lot of pre-Halloween parties, you know, people dressing up as their favorite radio. You could go to a party. I bet you could do a nice 6RE13 costume. Cornbread probably has his costume. It's a dummy load. He dresses as a 52 ohm resistor. You know, Dwayne, I think that's what happened. I think the lull of the noise of the channel, like listening to the ocean, has sort of lulled Harvey to sleep. And so when he awakes at 11:07, and he'll go break OTR and then look at the clock. Well, you know, Captain Robert, they're always wanting me to do something interesting in the air chair here, so I'm not sure if they'll have something for me next week or not to dress up. Richard, you tried to get into the EL84, but you only fit in the 6146, I know. It's when you have to go as the 3500Z because you don't fit in the 6146. That's when you should be concerned.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Did someone say wonderful Fresno? Okay, and just another addition to what we were talking about with why you would have different colors on your channel selector. The original 23-channel service specified which channels should be used for intra-station communication or communications between stations operating under the same station license, and inter-station communications or communications between stations operating under different licenses. So officially channels 1 through 8 and 15 through 22 were reserved for intra-station communications among units under the same license, with 9 through 14 and 23. So now there's something, Cliff. You have to see if 23 changes colors on you. 9 through 14 and 23 could be used for interstation calls to other licenses. Channel 11 became the calling channel and remains so to this day. And that is one reason that the powers that be that thought, let's do, a get on the air night with the tube radios, picked channel 11, because in theory, when you had a one-channel radio, as we saw tonight, the possibility that it would have or come with a channel 11 crystal was pretty good, because that was the calling channel. You might hang out on channel 11, make your call, and then move off to a different channel if you had one. So that is one reason why we are here on channel 11, because it was the calling channel, and most radios had channel 11 in it somewhere. Or the fact that there were a lot of 27085 crystals hanging around because it was the call channel. All right, any other stations out there before we sign out? And of course, then the band will open up. You always know that, wanting to get in on the old tube radio network. Hans, that is a good question. I doubt that a lot of people on the radio today even know that channel 11 was, or could still be a calling channel. I haven't really heard it discussed, and most people are, if they're not AM on some type of a mobile trucking device, are up on the sideband frequencies on channel 30 or above. But at least here on Saturday evenings, we are indeed the calling channel. And the channel 14 was a good walkie-talkie channel because I think all of the Radio Shack walkie-talkies came with 14 if it only had one channel. The Midland walkie-talkies came with channel 7. I had Hallicrafters walkie-talkies. They came with channel 11. So somewhere between channel 7, channel 14, and channel 11, you were good to find somebody, either on your walkie-talkie or your two-way radio. All right, I'm not going to sign off just yet. The Jingle Singers want to do this, and then we will probably have a radio ready to check in. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
And with a little bit of old tube magic, such that it is, standing by for radio number 3.
Now we'll do this one. The Browning Golden Beagle R68, T68 from Browning Lavatories. I was in the other room with the laptop, and all of a sudden, you went away. I couldn't figure out why. Then I looked down, I found out that the laptop wasn't plugged into the wall all the way, and the battery ran down. Anyway, so I plugged it back in, and here we are doing this one. Okay, we will catch you next week, and possibly I'll have something of interest. Not sure, but kind of waiting for some new arrivals. Okay, we will catch you next week, Dennis.
All right, boy, that is a bright, loud, not distorted, get your attention radio every time. And we're not that close. It always punches through. But then again, it's always been like that. Yeah, I sometimes I'll listen on my little 21st century portable phone device when I have the stream up and running before the net and carry it around just to make sure everything's good. And then it'll do the same thing. But in my case, it just drops the link. And I have to dial everything back up. I'm not sure how to keep it from doing that. But glad you made it to the air chair.
Roger, hey you. And people do say I am kind of punchy sometimes. Okay, we will catch you next week, possibly with something different. And we'll let you go.
All right, sounding good. Always enjoy the Beagle, the R68 T68, the radio that came after the Eagle. Hence the Golden Eagle. So the Eagle got off of the little silhouette and got the nice applique on the speaker. And the radio that I suppose begat the Mark II and the Mark II pieces of sideband and whatever. So a really busy 4 years for Browning, probably 1965 through 1979, coming up with the Mark II, Mark III. Boy, and here comes the wind. Can you hear it on the condenser microphone? We have a little storm coming up from Mexico, and all of a sudden the wind just came crashing through the window. So maybe a good time to sign out of here. Thanks, Harvey. We will look for you next week. Thanks for radio number 3.
Okay, have some Ovaltine. We'll catch you next week.
Yeah, it is that time for sure. So anybody else before we sign out of here? All right, then the Jingle Singers said this.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
As modern as you can be, counting and amounting. All right, back in the air chair here. As much as it tried tonight, there was not any of the north-south skip. You can hear the band was kind of energized, but nothing ever materialized after the gray line went away to hear that wind coming through to Hawaii. If we go to the DX map, all right, to be able to find it. Oh, and things have changed. So the band is still moving around. You can see the openings have moved south into Texas, Kansas, Missouri. So the band is moving around. So keep an ear out if you're staying up late. You might hear something coming up. So like I said, we've got some conditions. The band is still charged, and you can actually hear that. I've got that higher noise level tonight. But in the meantime, we'll go through, let's see, radios tonight. No, let's go to SWLs. 21 on page 17, 17 on page 17. I'm getting ahead of myself. 21 on page 1, 17 on page 2, 18 on page 3. I think we had 17 pages when we first started. We used to have a roll call, and it was just you check in. You know, we got 15 minutes check in, but it turned out it was like listening to the Super Bowl. It was 900 stations all at once. And the stations that were either close to the net controller or loud were the ones that got checked in. So we went to the formal roll call to kind of keep what is it, safe and sane insanity. 18 on page 3, 24 on page 4 for a total of 80. We're in week 2. Week 2, week 8. Radios tonight, most heard. It's a 3-way tie between the Gonset G11, the Robert T123B, and the Browning Golden Eagle. Thank Cliff for our magic eye tubes tonight, the Gonset G11. Young Spring and Wire Company. Look up Gonset. They make some neat radios. Maybe you have one. I've got a couple of Gonset. They should be on display behind me here. And I did check in on the G76 a couple of times. The Robin T123B. Thank you, Cliff, for Radio 2. And as you just heard moments ago, Harvey on the west side with the R68. T68, if you're studying for your license, keep doing so. The bands are great. Any of you who are radio active on the amateur frequencies, I hope to catch you and check in with you guys. And as always, we will try to be here on Saturday evenings to listen and talk about those tube radios. The storm is coming in. I don't think we're going to get any rain, but I can feel the cool breeze, and it's a nice thing. So I'll go out and check and make sure that the Starduster is still in the right position. 73, everybody, from your old tube radio network.
Good show, Dennis.
All right, sounding good, Harvey. And you know the reverse preamp has been doing well. Nary a hiccup, looking good on the meter, all good stuff. So whatever magic that happened was a good thing. It's been so far so good.
I hope so. Okay. Alrighty. See you next week.
And 73 from your old tube radio network. All right. I'm going to go change an antenna here. I'll be right back. Thank you. Yeah, it's allergy. Thank you, Captain Robert. Allergy season. Big time. Or you can tell I'm a little stuffed up. Look at that. 20 meters is still open. If you had a big antenna, can't quite tell where those stations are from, but they're definitely not in the U.S. So 14 megahertz, 20 meters is still open. Down to, let's go down to 40 meters. And not the AM. Let's see if sideband is up and running here on 40. Band may be pretty long. Some static tonight. And 40 is, if the band is long, I don't hear any broadcast stations. But I would expect on the right antenna. Expect a little more on 40.
The radio here is the Yaesu 1000D. Over.
Nobody is roaring in here on 40.
The airline guys have the ability to tune around more than just their
7271.
lockdown, dispatch or whatever frequencies.
Yeah, Foxman, that's what I thought. Sounded like it might have been from France. I didn't hear the call. It would have been probably an F something. Oh no, on 14. Boy, 40 is disappointingly weak.
For the whole property, even if it's 10K W, it's power the necessary.
And you can hear the distortion on the signals.
And one of the necessary circuits would be the heater. Is a 10K, that's 40 some amps, so that'll run on the necessary stuff you need with a 10K. If you get up to a 14K and above, they're nice to have. I got buddies who've got the big one, 16K. And
Nobody local. Let's go. I'm going to go back to 14 for 20 for just a second. They're just.
Yeah, okay. You say Florida. November 4th, Alpha India, America, DIA. You know, it's amazing. It's exactly 17 minutes after 7 o'clock.
And you can hear the distortion on the signals coming in from a couple of thousand miles there.
Lima Echo, LYLE, Cape Town. So we just even up 700-800 watts into the 5-limit motor battery here. Now the engine's a little bit crappy at the moment and battery with a funny irritation that just won't go away. And this is what the guys calling the bike. Hang on to come back and I'm sure you'll check again sometime. Norway's 4, DIA. Says it is 1 UK,
I couldn't catch the call. Sounded like it was an echo something.
How about the Exxon from S4 DIA?
Yeah, by the way, your report is 59 plus 5. So for 59 plus 5, plus 5, quite a lot here. So a good signal into Cape Town this morning. And the sun is already blazing here. So we're getting sunrise.
I think it was at ZS1. That would be South Africa, I think.
Okay, cheers, Mike. We'll check again. And it is 1 UK. Moving into North America and listening.
ZS1 UK. That'll be South Africa. And that is Lyle. ZS1 Uniform Oscar Kilowatt. In Cape Town, and that is approximate. I'm just listening on a vertical. He is approximately 10,000 miles away.
Now you're about 55. I noticed the signals have dropped a lot. It's later in the morning here. The name is Lyle, which is L-Y-L-E. The Yankee Lima Echo. And my code is Zulu, Sierra number 1. United Ocean Kilo. ZS1 UK. And I'm in Cape Town, South Africa. So what is the name and location?
So there you go. You have a big beam, you're probably talking to Cape Town
Mexico, Pacific,
on 20 meters. Anyway, good night, everybody. That is what happens. It's amazing. Just this signal is floating from Cape Town, South Africa, across the ocean, across the United States. It is just beaconing everywhere, and it's in the room. And you have to have this device and a piece of wire or a piece of metal to pick it up, but it's out there floating around. It boggles my mind that that is happening, and that you can just pick it up, and someone's just sitting there with a bunch of pieces and parts and components and talking, and it shows up. And nobody gets a bill at the end of the month. Nobody gets a bill because they were using the airwaves to talk to South Africa. Good stuff. Good stuff, this radio business. Good night, everybody. The ether. Something like that. I don't know. It just boggles my mind I don't even know. The signal is still there in this room outside. I just have to have the devices to decipher it. And there's another 150, 200, I don't know. Whatever, just floating around here. You just have to be able to see the right thing. Anyway, good night. And we will check you next week on your Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
Denmark, Pacific. From Zulu, Sierra 1, United Oscar Sierra. Yeah, no problem, Lee. Thanks again, 73. ZS1 UK. We are beaming into North America and listening.